Welcome to another edition of Mr. Walker's Podcast with your host, Mr. Walker. We are back. Clap it up. Yes. And we are about to get into some shit. You know, I've been doing a lot of research and listening to a lot of talk, right, from certain type of men, and I just feel like, you know, it's a lot of bitch assness going on. You know, I think that a lot of men nowadays, or no, not even nowadays, not like the younger generation, but like guys my age, I think they are losing focus on who they need to be in a relationship. It's a whole fact. When it comes to like the emotional part of a relationship and what you need to be for your woman and what she needs to be for you, I think the roles are starting to get reversed. Like, are you the woman that catches something every month and gotta tuck something, panty liner or something in it, and she's the person that mows the grass and takes out the garbage and, you know, like, what are you bathing with? Summer's Eve? For real, like, yo, come on, man. Like, yo, listen. We about to get into some shit, and I'm about to make the fellas upset. I can't even say the fellas. What are they? Are we losing focus on who we are or who we supposed to be? Yeah. Little whiskey, you know, a little beer, and chase it. You know what I mean? First, let me get this off my chest. Ladies, let me put this out there. The only way that you can get a man to open up is if you stop trying to get him to open up. Just allow that man to express his feelings when need be, right? You give him the floor. No interruptions. I'm big on that. When it's your time, when it's your time to speak, it's your time to speak. When it's his time to speak, it's his time to speak. And especially like those ex-bad boys. I'm one. I am one. We have a hard time expressing our feelings. You know, because we've been through a lot of shit, right? We've been through a lot of shit, and we were taught a certain way, right? And even if we weren't taught that way, just because of the shit that we've probably been through, we're not so forthcoming with the emotional part of, you know, like the revealing part. You know what I'm saying? Like the whining, the boo-hooing, or just anything that sounds borderline pussy. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, we're just not built like that. We're all human, right? And for me, I can't speak for every bad boy, but there is emotion behind who I used to be. There is. And a lot of people might not agree with this, but I'm gonna tell you, my audience, right? Whenever I used to kick people's ass, it was because of the most, like, now that I'm the age I am, this shit was very minor. It took very little for me to kick your ass. Very little. Stepped on my sneaker, and if you didn't apologize fast enough, your ass was getting kicked. Straight up and down. If you stared at me wrong in the store and we were all online in the bodega, and you stared at me too long, I'll ask you what you looking at, you know, and then it could be something else. I'll punch you into the fucking potato chip rack, and then if I know where you live or I got that hammer outside in the car, lights out. So it was emotion behind that. It was the wrong emotion, but it was emotion behind that. And in those situations, it was caused by something, right? I felt like I needed to be this person in this particular situation. When in all actuality, I didn't have to be. Let me tell you a quick story. Let me get this out the way. So she's like she's family, right? Shatira, right? It was a situation where she drove me to like the bodega, and I had an argument with my girlfriend, I think earlier in the day, and we were all on the block chilling, and you know, she's like family. She drove me to the bodega. While in the bodega, I'm online buying beers for the block. Beers, like a lot of them. And as I'm in the store, I felt like a dude was staring at me for too long. Like, he's staring at me. He probably knew who I was. I didn't know who he was. But I took that as like a form of disrespect. Like, if you're staring at me more than 3 seconds, yo, you say, what's up? Yo, I know you from so-and-so. To kind of like, you know what I'm saying? But being that he didn't, I'm like, what you looking at? Get back in the car. And as I'm pulling out the bodega, he's following. I look in the mirror. I'm in the passenger seat. Tamara's driving. So I told her to pull over. I take the beers, glass. I think I threw 2 into the windshield. He hit the fire hydrant. I jump back in the car. We peel off. I'm laughing. Let me tell y'all something. I was as bad as the baddest. Anything you could possibly imagine. Anything. I've done it. But that came from lack of communication and in some sort lack of love, right? Things that I didn't get as a young man. Trial and error, even with women, like, you know, going through things and not being sympathetic, you know, to a woman's needs based on how I was raised. I was raised by a single mother. So the advice and the love was different. I think my mom's felt like she needed to be the mother and father, in which she was, right, to some degree. So the love was tough. And she did a great job at the nurturing part, right? Like, just when I was jammed up or I felt I was crying or whatever, she told me that she loved me plenty of times. So growing up, and I have a large family, so when daddy was absent, uncles and brothers and cousins stepped in. And because of my family's history, I was taught to kind of like be tough, right? So that stuck with me. So growing up, like, I just don't respond to, I'm the alpha male for real. For real. Like, I can't even express how much I am. Down to like death. Like, yo, somebody passes away. I'm hurt. I'm feeling something, right? But I also know that life goes on. The world does not stop because of this death. God bless the dead. When my aunt passed away, Dee Dee, everybody know in the neighborhood. I remember her passing away And me and my aunt had beef during a certain part of my life. This is when I became like a young man, and I was still kind of wild. And she used to she used to have poker at her house. So it'd be like the older guys and a sprinkle of young guys. And whenever the young guys would act out of character, I'm not even gonna say out of character. I'm gonna say whenever I felt like they disrespected my aunt's house by like being rowdy towards the older guys or just going above and beyond, I would jump up and check them. My aunt would then come out the room and check me. I didn't understand that. I felt like I was doing the right thing. And we had beef for a long time. And then she finally like apologized to me a couple years later. And I accepted it. You know, it's my aunt. And I felt, and it was sincere. It was sincere. You know, but I also felt like I was doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So when she passed, I remember working, and I remember driving to, I remember starting my day driving. And I was in tears as I was driving. And I could hear her in my head. Like, listen, I was about to turn around and go back. And I could remember her saying to me in my head, like, listen, this type of shit happens, right? The world doesn't stop. Go get that damn money. You'll be okay. It'll be okay. You must keep it pushing. I heard her say that right here in the garden. So when it comes to like certain things in a relationship with a woman, like I feel like women deal with a different type of emotion than guys do, because you women give birth, right? And you deal with the shit that women deal with, the sexism and all the other things that you deal with in the world, at your job, and all the things like that, right? Like, because I'm an alpha male, right? I deal with another set of problems. Being the man that you need me to be, being the big, strong black man that people are afraid of. A lot of people are afraid of. Not afraid like I'll kick your ass afraid of, but just knowing that we are intelligent, smart, strong, father figures, and we're really, really powerful. We could demand a room without even speaking, based on how we carry ourselves. And a lot of people are still afraid of this skin color, for whatever it may be, right? We control the world. It's a whole culture that pushes the envelope, that can get people elected, that can get people killed, people go to war because of it. Neighborhoods could go to war because of it. We push the needle, and people somewhat admire that to a certain degree, right? The people that know, they know. Just look at social media. Look at the world. We influence the masses. And we are just being us. Like, it's like, me personally, I'm not doing anything extra. I'm just not. I'm being me, right? Like, if you ever come across me, the stories that I tell on this platform, I'm not telling it in the street. You don't need to know how bad I used to be. You don't need to know how I used to shoot that pistol until that shit clicked. That means there's no more bullets in the gun. with aggression. You don't need to know selling crack after basketball practice, walking home with my girlfriend. You don't need to know that I got this big old gold chain from crack dealing and can still go in the house and treat my mother with the utmost respect and be the son that she needs me to be. It's just, that's who we are. That's who we are. But getting back to like topic at hand, validating emotions. Should men expect the same thing in return that they give to their woman? Like when it's my turn to express my feelings, right? Should you not give me the emotional connection that I've given you, right? Like we all know that women hold on to like a lot of things that we as men, especially alpha males, we could kind of like, we're trying to figure out the solution. While women are basking in the emotional part, a woman could stay sad and fucked up for a while men are trying to figure out how to get past this or how to move on. Should we expect the same thing in return? Well, I can speak from my own experience. No, we shouldn't. A lot of times, a man's feelings don't matter. From my experience, my feelings didn't matter until they aligned with hers. It's the truth. When we can share in something, that's when you are paying attention to my tears. Yeah. Because they align with yours. We're crying at the same time. But you can't be crying, and I'm not. Because you will then ask me, you don't understand, or no, that's what you would say. You don't understand. That's what you would say. You don't understand. Why don't you think I understand? And it's based on how I'm responding to this particular situation. That's the whole fact. It's a fact. But a lot of men feel like they can't express their feelings because women tend to hold it against you and throw it back in your face. Not every woman. Imagine being too soft, right? Imagine crying when she's crying, right? Imagine being emotional when she's emotional. What do you expect to get back? Your power is stripped. Or it will be stripped, or it's starting to be stripped. Yeah. I feel like every woman needs a strong man. A man that's willing to lead, or a man that knows how to lead. Every woman needs a man's man. And in the process, do we need to change? Do we need to change the definition of what a man's man is? Right? Because to me, a man's man is a man that goes to work, right? Has his own identity, that can lead, somewhat show emotion, but not too much to the point to where he's a bitch. I still need to be the man of this house. But that's the thing as well with us as black people. We are taught at a very early age. And we said it on this podcast before. You cry, I'll give you something to cry about. We all heard our parents say that to us. You cry, I'll give you something to cry about. So you suck it up. And through the years, you've learned to deal with that emotion. Bottle it up. Bottle it up. And then it comes to a point to where the shit explodes, or you make a decision on how you need to go about your day-to-day life, especially in a relationship where you're not complaining about anything and you let nature take its course. Shit will get better. But because I feel like shit will get better doesn't mean I don't sympathize with you. I understand that emotion, right? But because of the lifestyle that I lived, I know that everything has a turnaround. I can't bask in that fucked up place with you. I've had it rough my whole entire life. My whole entire life. I'm waiting for a break. I heard not even I heard. I'm gonna keep it 110. Somebody I dated years ago. Let's just say a nigga believe. She believed. My brothers, all of us, had it our whole lives that this cars, jewelry, whatever, women, you see me with the baddest joint, the baddest. We deserve it. I deserve it. Yeah. Yeah, you see me rock out. You modeling my relationship, my life. You chasing that. Yeah, because I'm chasing something. I'm chasing motherfuckers before me. Right? From Instagram or even in real life. Yeah, it's a fact. I am. Will I be a pussy if I sympathize with you? If I show any type of emotion the same time you are? If I'm emotional while you're emotional, will I be considered a pussy? That's what men think about. Who do you need me to be for you? Make me understand the assignment. It's a fact. A lot of men are afraid to share the emotion, to share the emotional part of them. It's because we're afraid of how we may be looked upon, like even by our ladies. And it shouldn't be that way. You should be my best friend, right? You should see a side of me that no one else sees. It just shouldn't. When I go outside the house, I gotta fine tune things. I'm not exactly who I am in the house. And I'm definitely not who I am on this podcast. People that watch this podcast, I'm a totally different person when I'm in the street. Yeah. I gotta pay attention to my surroundings. And most of the time, if I'm on a block, because I need that at times, right? Like I told y'all, I'm an ex-bad boy. And I'm still looking around while I'm on the block. I sit comfortably to a certain degree, right? But I got people around me that pay attention to things. If I miss something, yeah, you need that. You need that. And some people like, so why do you go there if you're somewhat like paranoid or you got to pay that much attention because it's no love there, right? It's because I am an ex-bad boy and I somewhat still live. I need to keep some part of me that is kind of like tipping the scale of the edge. It's the truth. Like, I'll still go to the hood and shoot dice. Every once in a blue. I play poker. I used to play poker with hood motherfuckers. For real. In the hood. Now I play poker with my uncles and close family members. So I tune that up a little bit. Right? Like, but it's still gambling. You know, you can invite me in the street and I'm coming fast. So that's the bad boy part of me, even at this age. And, you know, if you want to do something else, we could do something else. But listen, ladies, just because men don't sympathize or show you the emotion that you are expecting when you're going through something, doesn't mean that that man doesn't love you or care. It's just that he was taught how to deal with emotions a different way than you. And you have a vagina. I hope he has a sack of nuts and a cock. Yeah. And in that moment, who do you need me to be for you? If you need to cry on my shoulder and I need to wrap these arms around you to make you feel better, then accept that. Instead of, girl, it's gonna be alright. Listen, I could be your man, right? I could be your man. I could be second coming to your daddy, your brother, your favorite uncle. But I can't be your mama. I can't be your aunt. I can't be your homegirl. I provide a different type of service. So accept that and be willing to accept that. And don't judge me. And I need you to value me on who I am to you. Just because I don't fucking cry when you cry doesn't mean I don't sympathize with you. I'm a man, you're a woman. We look at things different. We have different emotions. It's just a fact. Ladies, what type of man are you looking for? An alpha male? Right? An emotional man? When you going through the shit that you're going through once a month, you need him to sympathize with you? Huh? Tell me what type of man you're looking for. An honest man. A 9-to-5 man. And what type of man are you willing to accept because you can help him in the development to be the man that you need him to be. So with that being said, we're going to close up the show. I said enough. And we're going to close up the show with We Rolling Bitches.